Hello and welcome to this video. Today I will be showing one of the projects that I'm currently working on my own free time, which is the City Information Tool. I know, such a beautiful name. I really gotta think of a new one, but for the time being, it's a City Information Tool. It uses JavaScript because this is really the language that I've been trying to learn recently. And I may recreate it in React once I feel that I have the skills to do it, but at the moment I'm not quite there. So for now, it's just good old vanilla JavaScript, good old vanilla CSS, and of course HTML. So this is the landing page. You have just the name of it, look up a city start, and a search bar. First thing you'll notice is that there is a placeholder value, which in this case is Punto Fijo Venezuela. Basically the way this works is that I have data hosted from an API. That is, if we go to the script.js here, it's being hosted by an endpoint. So I have a asynchronous function called fetch endpoint data, have an endpoint, and we basically compile it however we want. We have a number of background images. So actually, let me refresh the page and you'll see a few things change. First and foremost, different background. And we have a new placeholder. So the placeholder is just a random value within a large array of objects, which is fetched dynamically from a website. I've done a very similar thing in a different project with song data. But in this one, it's essentially the same thing. It's then hosted in local storage, which is a web browser API, such that we don't have to fetch data again. But the main point being here, you can search any city. So let's just say, well, not any city, but most cities. So let's just say you want to see Toronto. You'll see once we type 2 characters in, we get a series of values. And these are not sorted in any sort of way. Actually, it might be by population. I'm not quite sure. But you'll see there's a lot of options. But let's say we wanted Toronto. Let's change to this. Okay. By the time we're at 4 letters, only 3 results. It goes down from like 1,000 to like 3. So let's just say Toronto, and we're gonna locate it. Boom, compiled. Okay, so we get a picture that actually changes quite often. This is not how it was last time, but this picture is from the Google Places API, and it's a picture of the city. Of course, this one is not the best. There were many better pictures of Toronto, but it's dynamically fetched, so I don't really have that much control over what it'll actually get. We have Toronto, Canada, of course. We have the time, so Wednesday, January 18th, 2023 at 5:29 p.m., which is the current time over there. Then we get a short description of the city, which is from the Wikipedia API, and then one from the actual API that we search. We also have a map that is coming from the Google Maps API, and then we have weather information for the city. So this is still a working project. It has a lot that I want to change. You'll see here that the sun rises and sunset is not formatted properly, so I'm gonna have to change that to actually reflect the time, not the day, of course. This I do want to make it dynamic, so I'm gonna add like some kind of counter function that adds a second every time that second runs in real time. So basically, it's gonna be like a real time clock, and I might actually make this go down below here and make it bigger and dynamic. City map is not formatted correctly at the moment, but this was kind of in an effort to make it try to be kind of responsive. We'll see if it actually is. Yeah, it's like somewhat responsive, but not exactly formatted correctly. And then the weather information, I don't know, I'm thinking for this, it's going to be like kind of card. It's going to be like a card style thing. In the background, I do want to change it too to be kind of reflective by the weather. So there's going to be some kind of formula that you punch in a few data values from it, and it'll calculate a color and gradient for the background. So that's coming. So for example, if it's a sunny day and it's warm, it would be more like yellowish. If it's dark and crappy outside, then it'd be more like this, cloudy. And there's going to be emojis for this, each one of these. But again, for the time being, it's just a work in progress. So, in terms of week temperature forecast, this has to be changed, but it's pretty much done. I'm using chart.js here, open weather for the weather retrieval object, and Google Maps API here. So just a lot of API calls. There are a lot of API calls here, but it works. There might also be a loading thing. Of course, the backgrounds here, that could be better. I may change those, we shall see. And another thing that has to be worked on is, let's say that we have two cities with essentially the same name. For the Wikipedia API, I don't have a real way to, at the moment, you have to have a precise search or else it won't know what you're talking about. It'll give you a bunch of options. So for London, Canada, or for any city with a certain name, it will only search for that. It'll only search for London. It'll only search for East London. It won't know it's South Africa. It won't know anything. It'll just do London, right? So here, London, Canada, it's going to retrieve information from London, the United Kingdom, which is not what you want. So I do think that I'm going to have to locate, do some kind of like grand search where I search every city for this API. And then based on, I'm going to make a map where if it's a certain value, let's say London, Canada, the search is going to be tailored for the Wikipedia API and changed such that it actually returns London, Ontario. How I'm going to do that, we shall see. But this picture works fine. The map works fine because these are based off of coordinates, not off of the name. Fortunately, you can't do that with London. Or with the Wikipedia API, I mean, weather information is also based on the location, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But yeah, so simple enough right now. There's no button to go back. Yeah, again, very simple showcase, but you know, it'll work for the majority of cities, including our own beautiful Calgary, Alberta. Look at that. Got the Bow Tower over here, the Bow River. My God, so beautiful, so beautiful. And the time is correct, as you can see. So yeah, still pretty simple project. I think I'm going to do another showcase soon enough, but you know, if you want to look for the code, you can visit my GitHub page and kind of scroll through it. It's really not that long at the moment. It's fairly simple, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and if you did, you can like, comment, do whatever, but I hope you have a good day. Thank you.